Family gets through some of the toughest times by the friends that we have. And some of our friends we've had a long, long time, and some are new that make a huge impact just even in a short while. But a family that has meant a lot to the Levisers is the Balakrishnas. And I'd invite Sam and Sage to come on up. They have some things that they would like to share at this time.
So unfortunately, Sage isn't here. He's out of town, but we did have a talk on the phone, and he shared some Zach stories with me to share with you. So my introduction to the Levasseur family was day one of kindergarten. When I took Sage, he was standing in the lineup all excited for first day of school, and this friendly redhead comes over. So Angie introduced herself to me and asked about Sage. I told her about Sage, and she said, "Your other kids look the same age as mine." She had Heidi and Akaya with her. And Mackenzie and Elle are the same age as Heidi and Akaya. All the kids are within, Zach and Sage are a month apart, and Heidi and Akaya are 3 days, or Heidi and Mackenzie are 3 days apart, and Nakaya and Elle are a few weeks apart. So that started off quite a friendship. There was a lot of play dates and a lot of sleepovers. Sage says he remembers at one time spending an entire week at your house. Sleepover started on the weekend, Friday night, and he just stayed there all week. The kids were very close to each other. One morning, I remember meeting Angie in the lineup again, and I don't know how old Zach was, but I remember looking at him thinking something wasn't right. And I kind of looked over at Angie and I was like, "Is Zach okay?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, he just shaved off both of his eyebrows last night." So Sage said he just looked like an alien for a while until his eyebrows grew back. Zach was one of Sage's best friends in elementary school, but they had a bit of a violent relationship. There was a lot of punching and a lot of kicking, and not that it seemed to affect their relationship, but Sage said there was a full contact soccer game they were playing that ended up being a fist fight, and they were punching each other in the face, and Mr. Voss jumped in and broke it up, and Sage said he remembers Zach like no emotion at all. Sage said he was trying not to cry because a girl that he had a crush on was watching them play soccer, but he said Zach didn't even seem to be fazed. There was also a groin kicking incident where Sage and Zach and one other kid were on the playground at lunchtime, and I don't know if Zach kicked this kid in the groin or if the kid kicked Zach in the groin, but between the three of them, they decided the way to solve it was for Sage to kick the kicker in the groin. So he did, and that landed me in the principal's office somehow. I said to Mr. Davison at the time, I don't really see an issue with it because they kind of solved it themselves, right? He also remembers a morning that Angie was furious at him because Angie dropped Zach off for school, and Sage said, "Zach, I got to show you something. Close your eyes." And he took Zach by the arm and walked him straight into a pile of dog poo. And he said Angie was so angry because then she had to go home and get Zach a new pair of shoes. And then I found a letter that I had forwarded to, well, we all know Zach was famous for his letters. He wrote Sage's letter. "Dear Sage, sorry for punching you in the face 3 times on Friday. I know that you were just trying to stick up for Anthony. It was not a nice way to treat you, and I ask that you forgive me. I'll try to treat you the way that you want to be treated. Your classmates